The war had already started before most worlds even understood what was coming. Across the dark space near the Orion border, a massive alien fleet gathered. Hundreds of shining warships floated together like a silver wall. Their commanders believed victory was already certain. They were strong, advanced, and feared across the galaxy. Inside the main alien flagship, a large meeting was happening. Tall alien officers stood around a glowing table. A blue hologram showed the enemy fleet, the humans. Small ships appeared on the screen. Some looked old. Some looked damaged. Many looked strange compared to the clean and perfect alien designs. One alien commander laughed loudly. "Are these really human warships?" he asked. Another officer zoomed into the ship names. The room became louder with laughter. Rust Bucket, Grandma's Revenge, Old Badger, Flying Coffin. The aliens could not stop laughing. To them, warships should have powerful and terrifying names, names that showed strength and fear. But humans, they gave their ships silly names like jokes. "These humans are weak," one alien leader said with confidence. "They hide fear behind humor." The alien fleet prepared their weapons. They expected a fast and easy battle. Far away, the human fleet moved slowly into position. Their ships were smaller and fewer. Some ships showed battle scars from older wars. But inside the human ships, the crews were calm. No one shouted. No one panicked. They checked systems quietly and waited for orders. Captain Mira stood on the bridge of the ship Old Badger. She watched the alien fleet on the main screen. The enemy looked huge, thousands of weapons pointing toward the human line. A young officer beside her asked, "Captain, do you think we can win?" Mira gave a small smile. "Winning is not always the first step," she said softly. "Sometimes we just need to survive long enough." Back on the alien flagship, scanners began reading the human fleet carefully. One officer noticed something strange. "Commander, there is one human ship with no data," he said. The room became quiet for a moment. "What do you mean, no data?" the leader asked. "It has no design history, no class name, no weapon records. Only one word is shown. Its name." The alien leader looked closer at the screen. The word appeared slowly. "Monster." The alien commanders looked at each other. Then some of them laughed again. "A monster," one said. "Humans truly love jokes." But one older alien officer did not laugh. He stared at the empty space where the unknown ship should be. "Where is it?" he asked. The scanner officer shook his head. "We cannot find its location, only the name exists in the system." This made the room slightly uncomfortable, but pride was stronger than doubt. The alien leader waved his hand. "It does not matter," he said. "We attack now. End this battle quickly." Outside, the alien fleet moved forward. Thousands of engines burned bright, weapons powered up, glowing with deadly energy. The human ships stayed in position. They did not run. Inside Grandma's Revenge, engineers prepared defense shields. On Rust Bucket, pilots joked quietly to hide tension. Every human ship followed a strange pattern, moving just enough to protect each other. The aliens fired the first attack. Bright beams of energy crossed space like burning stars. Explosions surrounded the human fleet. Some ships shook badly, some lost power, but they did not break formation. Alien commanders expected humans to panic and retreat. But the humans did not run. Instead, they waited. On the alien flagship, alarms suddenly blinked. Long-range scanners detected a huge energy signal far beyond the battlefield. It was far away, but moving fast. "What is that?" one alien officer asked nervously. The scanner struggled to read the signal. "Unknown object, massive size and warp signature increasing." The alien leader frowned. "Is it another human fleet?" The officer swallowed slowly. "We do not know, but the system shows only one name connected to that signal." The room became silent again. The word appeared on the screen. "Monster." Far away, deep in empty space, something massive began to move. Stars around it bent slightly. Space itself seemed to shake. Back on the battlefield, humans continued to fight carefully, not to win, but to survive. Because they were not alone. And something was coming. The battle became louder and brighter with every second. Alien warships fired wave after wave of powerful weapons. Red and blue beams crossed the dark space like burning storms. Explosions surrounded the human fleet. Many human ships shook badly. Some lost engines, some lost weapons, but none of them ran away. Alien commanders watched with confidence from their flagship. Humans are already breaking, one officer said. But another officer noticed something strange. The human ships were not moving randomly. They moved in small groups. When one ship was hit, another moved in front to protect it. When shields failed, nearby ships shared energy. They fought like one body instead of many ships. Inside the human ship Rust Bucket, alarms screamed loudly. Smoke filled parts of the bridge. Captain Jalen held the command chair tightly. "Shields at 30%, an officer shouted. "Stay in formation," Jalen said calmly. "Protect Flying Coffin, their engines are down." Nearby, the damaged ship Flying Coffin drifted slowly. Two other human ships moved beside it, blocking enemy fire. Small drones flew out and began repairing broken armor, while the battle continued around them. The aliens saw this and laughed again at first. "Look at them," one alien pilot said. "They hide behind each other like scared animals." But after several minutes, the laughter became quieter. Human ships that should have been destroyed were still fighting. Some ships even returned to battle after heavy damage. Alien fighters rushed forward to finish them quickly. But human pilots flew in strange patterns. They used debris from destroyed ships as cover. They worked together like a trained pack. One alien commander frowned. "Why are they not retreating?" Another officer answered slowly. "They are buying time." Back on the battlefield, Captain Mira on Old Badger watched the long-range timer. She knew exactly what they were waiting for. Every second mattered. A young human officer asked, "Captain, how long do we hold?" Mira looked at the clock. "As long as we breathe," she replied. The alien fleet increased its attack power. Huge cannons fired massive blasts that shattered entire sections of space. One human cruiser exploded into pieces. The remaining ships did not stop. Instead, they moved closer together, forming a defensive circle. Inside the alien flagship, a new warning appeared on the main screen. "Commander, the unknown energy signal is getting stronger," the scanner officer said nervously. "How far away?" the leader asked. "Still far, but moving faster than any ship we know." The alien leader tried to stay calm. "Ignore it for now, destroy the humans first." But more strange problems started happening. Alien communication signals became weaker. Some targeting systems failed for no clear reason. Navigation computers began showing small errors. "Enemy hacking?" one officer guessed. "No," another said quietly. "Something else is affecting our systems." Outside, the human ships suddenly changed formation. Instead of moving forward, they slowly pulled back. They opened space in the center of the battlefield. To the aliens, it looked like humans were finally losing courage. "They are retreating," one alien pilot shouted with excitement. The alien fleet rushed forward aggressively, chasing the humans. But Captain Mira watched this with calm eyes. "Phase 2, she ordered. Human ships dropped small sensor beacons behind them. Invisible signals spread across space. The alien fleet flew directly into the hidden network without noticing. Minutes passed. The battle slowed slightly. Both sides took heavy damage. But the humans were still alive, still fighting, still waiting. On the alien flagship, the scanner officer suddenly stood up in shock. "Commander, massive warp activity detected much closer now." The main screen flickered. A huge shadow appeared at the edge of the system. It was so large that scanners could not measure it correctly. "What is that thing?" an alien whispered. The system tried to identify the object. Only one word appeared again. "Monster." Back on the human ship, silent smiles appeared on tired faces. Pilots straightened in their chairs. Engineers stopped shaking. Captain Mira looked at the stars ahead. "Hold the line," she said quietly. "Help is almost here." Far away, space itself began to bend, and something enormous prepared to enter the battlefield. The battle slowed for a moment, but the tension in space became heavier than before. The alien fleet pushed forward, thinking the humans were finally losing strength. Many human ships were damaged. Some drifted slowly with broken engines. Smoke and fire floated in the cold darkness. But something felt wrong. Alien scanners started to blink with errors. Communication signals became weak and full of noise. Navigation maps showed small changes that made no sense. Even the stars looked strange, like they were shaking. Inside the alien flagship, officers spoke quickly to each other. "Commander, our systems are unstable," one officer reported. "What is causing this?" the alien leader asked. "We do not know," the officer answered. "No enemy attack detected, but space itself feels different." The alien leader became angry. "Focus on the humans, finish them now." Outside, alien warships moved faster and fired another heavy attack. Bright energy beams rushed toward the human line. Explosions covered the battlefield again. Several human ships were hit hard, but they still stayed together. On the human ship Grandma's Revenge, Captain Elias held the railing as the ship shook violently. "Damage report," he shouted. "Left engine's gone, shields critical, but we can still fly," an engineer answered. Elias looked at the long-range screen. The unknown signal was closer now. Much closer. "Stay alive a little longer," he whispered to himself. Nearby, small human fighters moved carefully between larger ships. They protected damaged allies and guided them into safer positions. Human drones repaired broken armor while pilots continued to fight. Every action was slow and controlled, like they were following a hidden plan. The alien fleet did not understand why the humans refused to break. Even when surrounded, human ships moved back step by step, creating more empty space in the center of the battlefield. Inside the alien flagship, alarms suddenly rang louder. "Commander, long-range sensors are failing," the scanner officer shouted. The main screen flickered. Stars disappeared from the map one by one. Some alien ships lost contact completely, even though they were close by. "What is happening to our fleet?" another officer asked nervously. Before anyone could answer, a deep vibration moved through the ship. It was not an explosion, it felt like a silent wave passing through space itself. Far away, something massive began to appear. Not fully visible yet, only a dark shape behind the stars. The size was impossible to measure. The scanners tried again and again, but failed. On the human ship Old Badger, Captain Mira watched the shadow grow larger. "Formation change," she ordered calmly. "All ships move to outer positions, leave the center clear." Human ships quickly obeyed. Even the most damaged vessels moved aside with their last power. They formed a wide circle around the empty center of space. Alien commanders watched this with confusion. "Why are they giving us more space?" one officer asked. Another alien zoomed the sensors forward. His hands began to shake. "There is something inside that empty space," he whispered. The alien leader stepped closer to the screen. A giant silhouette slowly became visible. It was darker than the stars around it. Space looked bent near its edges, like light itself was afraid to touch it. Some alien ships suddenly shut down for a few seconds, then restarted without reason. Weapons lost targeting locks. Pilots reported strange shadows moving across their windows. Fear entered the alien fleet for the first time. Back on the human ships, silence replaced the chaos. Pilots stopped joking, engineers stopped shouting. Everyone watched the growing shadow with quiet respect. A young human officer asked Captain Mira, "Is that really ours?" Mira nodded slowly. "Yes," she said. "And the aliens still think our ship names are jokes." The dark shape moved closer. Engines made no sound, but space rippled like water around it. The alien flagship tried to scan the object again. The system struggled, then finally showed one clear word: "Monster." The battlefield became silent. Even the aliens stopped firing for a moment. Every eye watched the giant shadow coming out of warp. And when it finally began to enter real space, the stars around it disappeared behind something far bigger than any ship ever built. The shadow finished coming out of warp. Space around it twisted like a broken mirror. For a few seconds, no one spoke. Not humans, not aliens. The battlefield felt frozen. Then the giant human ship became fully visible. It was bigger than a small moon. Its armor was dark and rough, covered in deep scars from old battles. Long red lights glowed slowly across its surface like sleeping eyes. There were no visible guns, no clear engines, but space itself bent slightly near its hull, like the ship carried its own gravity. The alien fleet stared in shock. "What is that?" one alien pilot whispered. On the alien flagship, officers tried to scan the giant vessel again. Every system struggled to understand what they were seeing. Unknown structure, unknown power source, energy levels beyond our limits, the scanner officer said nervously. The name appeared again on every alien screen. HFY Monster. Some alien commanders laughed weakly, trying to hide fear. "It is only one ship," one said. "We still have hundreds." But before they could give new orders, something strange happened. Several alien ships suddenly lost power for 3 seconds. Their weapons went dark. Engines stopped. Then everything returned to normal. But confusion spread quickly through the fleet. On the human side, damaged ships slowly moved behind the giant vessel for protection. Pilots who had been fighting for hours finally allowed themselves to breathe. Inside the monster, the human crew worked silently. The bridge was dark except for red holographic screens. Commander Hale stood in the center, watching the battlefield. "Status?" Hale asked calmly. "Human fleet at 60% strength. Alien fleet still larger but confused," an officer answered. "Good," Hale said. "Begin Phase 3. Outside, small openings appeared across the monster's hull. Hundreds of tiny drones flew out. They were black and sharp, shaped like small beasts with glowing red eyes. They moved quickly without sound, spreading across the battlefield. Alien fighters rushed forward to destroy them, thinking they were weak machines. But the drones moved too fast. They cut through enemy shields with thin energy lines. Several alien ships exploded without warning. Others lost weapons and drifted helplessly. Alien commanders shouted orders in panic. "Focus fire on the giant ship," the alien leader ordered. Hundreds of alien cannons fired together. Massive beams hit the monster's armor. The explosions were huge, but when the smoke cleared, the ship looked untouched. Only small scratches appeared on its surface. Fear began to grow inside the alien fleet. Meanwhile, human ships returned to battle with new energy. Protected by the monster, they repaired damage and rejoined the fight. Small human fighters attacked from behind alien lines. Old ships with funny names revealed hidden weapons. The ship Flying Coffin released heavy missile waves that destroyed 3 alien cruisers. Rust Bucket launched surprise railguns that pierced enemy armor easily. Even the slow old Badger used advanced defense shields that blocked powerful attacks. Alien officers realized something terrible. The humans were hiding their real strength, one whispered. Back on the monster's bridge, Commander Hale watched the alien superweapon charge its main cannon, a massive device designed to destroy entire fleets. "Target confirmed," an officer said. "Alien superweapon preparing to fire." Hale nodded once. "Prepare main response system." The monster moved forward slowly. No loud engines, no bright lights, just silent power. Space rippled around its massive shape. Alien ships tried to block its path, but drones attacked them instantly. One entire alien battle group disappeared in seconds, leaving only debris floating behind. On the alien flagship, panic replaced confidence. "Commander, our weapons are failing. Our ships cannot get close," an officer said. The alien leader stared at the dark giant moving closer to their superweapon. For the first time, his voice shook. What kind of monster builds a ship like that? Back on the human fleet, Captain Mira watched quietly. "They laughed at our ship names," she said softly. "Now they meet the only name that matters." The monster's massive hull began to glow with deep red energy. A silent weapon slowly charged, something no alien had ever seen before. And every alien commander realized one terrifying truth. The battle had just changed, and humans were no longer holding back. Transformed. The alien fleet, once confident and mocking, now moved in confusion. Their weapons faltered, targeting systems failed, and communication links went dead in sudden bursts. The monster loomed at the center, silent but full of terrible energy, a presence larger and more deadly than any ship the aliens had ever faced. Inside the monster, Commander Hale remained calm. His eyes scanned the alien superweapon on the horizon. It glowed like a dying sun, its massive cannon ready to fire. Hundreds of smaller alien cruisers formed a loose wall around it, trying to protect their ultimate weapon. Hale gave a single command: engage fully, no holding back. With that, the monster released the first wave. Invisible lines of energy bending through space like lightning struck the alien superweapon instantly. There was no explosion, no fire, just a silent collapse. The weapon's energy core cracked and fizzled, releasing a wave of feedback that disabled nearby alien ships. The aliens screamed in panic. Officers tried to reorient the fleet, but chaos spread too quickly. Several massive alien cruisers drifted helplessly, their weapons offline. Fighter pilots could only watch as their leaders ordered desperate maneuvers. At the same time, the human fleet advanced. The ships that had been quietly holding their positions now struck with precision and power. Grandma's Revenge unleashed a barrage of torpedoes that pierced a giant alien cruiser. The explosion rocked space but caused minimal damage to the human ship itself. Rust Bucket, despite being older and smaller, rammed through alien defenses, firing hidden railguns from unexpected angles. Alien morale broke entirely. They had laughed at human ship names just minutes ago. Now the same names were legends in motion, deadly instruments of war. Some alien commanders tried to flee, but escape routes were already covered by monster drones, moving like shadows of death. Even smaller human ships played their part. Tiny fighters swarmed the alien lines, targeting weapons, engines, and shield systems. They acted like a single organism, protecting each other and exploiting the aliens' mistakes. Every shot counted. Every movement was deliberate. On the monster's bridge, Hale watched the battlefield unfold. "They underestimated us," he said to his officer. "They thought our names were jokes, now they see the truth." Meanwhile, in the alien flagship, desperation had replaced arrogance. Officers shouted orders, but systems failed. Engines misfired. Weapons overloaded. The alien superweapon was gone, and their fleet was in shambles. One officer, pale and shaking, realized the terrifying truth. They were being hunted. The monster moved closer to the alien command flagship. It did not fire yet. Its presence alone caused alien systems to fail. Small human ships closed in from all sides, hitting weak points in the alien armor. A massive cruiser exploded, and debris scattered across the battlefield like sparks in a storm. Captain Mira of Old Badger spoke to her fleet. "Keep pushing, do not stop, protect the monster. Finish the fight, but remember, we do not destroy unnecessarily." The humans were precise. They did not attack blindly. Every movement had purpose, every ship had a role. The aliens could not predict the next strike, and that uncertainty terrified them more than any weapon. As the monster hovered near the alien command ship, its hull glowed faintly. Tiny drones released again, spreading across the alien flagship like a storm. Systems failed one by one. Weapons jammed. Engines shut down. Panic filled the alien ranks. The alien leader shouted orders that could no longer be followed. Every plan he had ever trusted now lay in ruins. The humans had not only survived, they had turned the battlefield into their hunting ground. Hale finally spoke, his voice calm but deadly. "They mocked us, they laughed at our names. Let them see why humans never joke about what they are capable of." In the next moments, alien cruisers began falling like dominoes. Monster drones disabled weapons, human ships destroyed engines, and the monster itself moved silently, unstoppable. The alien fleet had no strategy left. Only chaos remained. And for the first time in galactic history, an alien flagship, the pride of 1,000 worlds, faced humans without any hope of victory. The monster and the human fleet were no longer just defending themselves. They were delivering a lesson the aliens would never forget. One truth became clear across the battlefield. Humans did not need big fleets or flashy names to win. They only needed precision, courage, and a monster that no one expected. The battlefield was quiet now, but the quiet was not peace. Smoke, debris, and burning energy drifted through space. Alien ships floated lifelessly, engines dead, weapons offline. For the first time, the alien commanders understood the full meaning of the word defeat. At the center of it all, the monster hovered silently. Its massive hull gleamed with dark red energy. Hundreds of small drones swarmed the remnants of alien cruisers, ensuring no hidden weapons could fire. The human fleet, though battered and scratched, held a perfect formation around the monster. Their ships looked tired, but no one panicked. The humans had survived what seemed impossible, and now they controlled the battlefield completely. On the monster's bridge, Commander Hale stood straight, eyes fixed on the alien command flagship. It was the pride of the alien fleet, the largest and most feared ship they had. Its shields flickered weakly. Weapons were offline, systems were failing. The alien flagship could not escape or fight back. "Target locked," an officer said. "We can destroy them completely." Hale shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "We are not here to destroy, we are here to teach." Back on the alien flagship, the crew stared at the monster in fear. They had laughed at humans' ship names before the battle. Now they understood how foolish that laughter had been. Their pride had been shattered in minutes, their most powerful weapon destroyed before it even fired. The alien leader's voice trembled over the intercom. "Humans, what are you?" Captain Mira of Old Badger activated the comm. Her voice was calm, steady, and full of authority. "You laughed at our ship names," she said. "You called us weak. You called our courage a joke. But you did not understand one thing. Humans survive. Humans endure. Humans fight with everything they have, even when the odds are impossible." The alien leader went silent. The truth in her words burned into every officer listening. Hale nodded toward the fleet. "We could destroy your ships, we could finish the fight. But we do not seek revenge. You will leave this battlefield, and you will remember this day. You will remember that humans may look small, may joke, may seem weak. But you never underestimate them." One by one, alien ships tried to escape. The monster and the human fleet allowed them to leave, blocking only those who tried to fire. The lesson was clear. Humans were merciful, but their strength was absolute. On the monster's bridge, Hale turned to his officers. "We did not fight to conquer. We fought to survive, and to show them the truth." Across the battlefield, human ships slowly repaired themselves. Engineers moved between ships with drones, fixing engines and shields. Pilots stretched their tired arms, smiles breaking across their faces for the first time in hours. Grandma's Revenge floated gracefully, its missiles spent but its spirit unbroken. Rust Bucket's small engines still glowed, ready for the next fight if it came. Old Badger's crew silently cheered, knowing they had lived through history. The alien fleet retreated into the darkness of space, humiliated but alive. Their arrogance had been crushed, their belief that humans were weak shattered forever. In the aftermath, the monster hovered silently in space, a monument to human ingenuity and courage. Its name would echo across galaxies for centuries, a symbol that humans were not to be underestimated. Captain Mira looked at the monster from her ship. "You see," she said quietly, "they laughed at our names because they did not know us, and now they never will forget." Hale nodded. "Ships are just machines. Names are just words. Strength comes from what is inside. Courage, unity, and the will to survive. That is why humans will always endure." Far away, the stars seemed to shine brighter. The humans had survived the impossible, and the galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. The monster powered its engines slowly, and the human fleet prepared to leave the battlefield. Behind them, the alien fleet disappeared into the dark expanse of space, carrying not only the memory of defeat, but the new respect humans had earned. And in every corner of the galaxy, whispers would spread. Never laugh at humans and never mock their courage, because when the time comes, they will fight like monsters. For humans, it had never been about names, about pride, or about power. It had always been about survival. And today, survival had become legend.